Mark Edward Willows here again, and welcome to Gabbin Cabin. And today I have a very special guest with me. If you are a fan of daytime television, you definitely know who she is. I mean, we could probably say she's the queen of daytime television because she has been on the show for, I know ladies don't like to hear this, but let's say decades. You know, she's been doing the show. Joining me today is from NBC's Days of Our Lives, Judi Evans, who plays Adrianne / Bonnie. Judi, welcome to the program.
Oh, thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Well, like I said, you have been doing these shows since 1983. I mean, you were Beth Raines on Guiding Light. You were Paulina on Another World. You were Maeve on As the World Turns. And of course, Days of Our Lives. You have quite a resume when it comes to daytime television. So tell me, what has it been like for you to be playing these roles all these years? And you're still standing and able to talk about it.
Well, I feel pretty blessed for sure. Very lucky, very fortunate. To be a working actor is, especially as a woman at this age, I feel pretty lucky.
Mm-hmm. Now, also, congratulations on Days of Our Lives being renewed for 2 more years. What was the reaction on the set for that?
Oh gosh, absolutely thrilled. Just absolutely thrilled out of our minds.
Mm-hmm. So 2 more years of Bonnie, Adrianne antics. What do you think she's going to do next? God only knows, right?
The world is her oyster. Anything they want me to.
Now, like I mentioned earlier, you started back in '83, and of course, where we are today, so many years later, how have you seen the shows change over the years? In terms of even production quality, writing, acting, what's your take on it?
We certainly do things a lot faster now. Used to take a minimum of 12 to 18 hours to do one show a day, which in the industry, that's a feat in itself, to do anywhere from a 90 to 100-page script in a day. But now we do almost a show and a quarter a day. We're in at 6, out by 5. And it's mind-blowing how quickly we go. There's very little rehearsal except on your own, pretty much. Though I think we're going back to, now that COVID restrictions are a little more relaxed, we are, I think, going to have a little bit more rehearsal time. Not much, but it'll be at least better than doing a FaceTime call.
Yeah, because back in the day, didn't you sort of have like all day to practice, all day to rehearse? Final taping was late in the afternoon, where now you sort of walk into the soundstage in the morning and you're in front of the cameras within 20 minutes.
And it's ready, set, go. Oh, do we really need a rehearsal? We could just do it. Okay. Okay, which I actually like that. I know there's some people who aren't crazy about it, but I'm like, especially if we've rehearsed on our own, usually the first take is the best, and I think it's kind of a theory, and then you don't get another good one to like take 17. So sometimes just going off the fly, there's certain energy and nervousness about no rehearsal at all and just go, that I personally kind of like. I think I like jumping off cliffs. So
just going in and doing it and getting it over with.
Just the excitement of, can we really do it? Oh, we can? Okay, great.
Now, you know, it's no secret. I mean, daytime actors work hard. Honestly, you all deserve an Emmy Award. I mean, it is a lot of work that daytime actors put in. I mean, more than prime time. I mean, evening, you know, you do a sitcom, you study it all week, and then Friday night you shoot it. That doesn't work that way doing daytime. And it is really sort of a roller coaster. So, I mean, how do you handle all of that in life itself? And because it is a roller coaster is what it is.
It is. I kind of feed off that energy. So I really like it. Too much time on my hands is not a good thing ever for me. So it amazes me And a lot of times we will have people who have done a lot of film or nighttime or theater, and they come on and they're shocked by how much material and what places we can go to emotionally. Just boom, 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 balls to the wall, if you will.
How do you cry at the spur of a moment? Because on daytime, there's a lot of tears.
I know, and people ask me that all the time. And honestly, for me, it's hard to explain, but I have to be really prepared. Like, no matter what, and this is a training that I received. I've trained a lot over the years, and you have to know your words. You just have to know your words, because you can't think about, "Oh, what's my next line." You have to really listen to that other person and open up it, kind of put your heart on your sleeve. And it's not so much to cry on a dime. I just lucky enough to be able to open that vessel so I can listen, respond. I'm in that situation in that moment. And a lot of times when I tear up, it's not in the script. It's just I'm being affected emotionally. It's a lot of pressure when it says cries on this line. Then it's like, oh my God, I don't know if I could do that, because I don't know if I'll be there. And, you just have to, I don't know, just free fall.
Yes. Now, is there some improvising, or is it word for word of the script?
It's pretty much word for word. I mean, the writer took the time to write it. We should at least, have the integrity to say what they wrote.
Right. But I mean, can you do something like, say, for example, you're warm. Can you fan yourself or something? They're not going to say cut, right?
No. I mean, if you have a bodily function that happens, I'm sure they would. But or if you didn't move on a correct line, they'd stop. But there's not a lot of improvisation. And I come from a school of teachers that different teachers that I've had that are like, no, you have to. I mean, that's your job. You can't improvise. You have to say what's written on the page. Now, sometimes in the heat of the moment when you're going at it, things may come out a little different, but as long as they make sense, a lot of times they'll take it. But it's usually, for me, it's in the heat of the moment. Maybe I switch 2 words or something like that. And I tend to have a lot of speeches. So,
yes,
they do give me a little grace, but I really try my best to say it the way the writer wrote it.
It seems like Adrianne is always talking and Bonnie's always confessing. Now
that's a good way of looking at it,
yes,
Yeah.
Yes. Now the characters.
Either one, they're jabberjaws.
Yes, they are. Now, between the two of them, which is your favorite? Fess up. Do you like Adrianne or Bonnie or?
It's hard because, again, people ask me that question, and I don't have a favorite. They're both so different that I love them both for very different reasons. Bonnie's a lot funnier, and their scenes tend to allow for that, body kind of racy humor. But Adrianne had her moments of humor too. They're both just so different. It's like saying, do you like apples or oranges better? I don't know. They're both good.
Yes. Now, when you started doing this, I mean, show business also kind of runs in your family. If I recall, didn't you tell me once a long time ago when we were sitting at the bar? I think you told me that time that your family was in a circus or something. You traveled as a kid. Yeah, tell us a little about that.
I was born in the circus. My parents were trapeze artists. My 3 older brothers performed as well, like the whip act, the elephant act, and they did different and clowns. And then they put me to work at about 2.5 as a clown. So I started working at 2.5, and I think there maybe was a 2-year period in my life where I haven't worked before since then. So I've worked in some kind of capacity, maybe not in show business, but I worked in some kind of capacity. But yeah, it was really fun. We used to travel from town to town all over the Western states, and also a little in Mexico. And we'd set up one day, and in the middle of the night, do 2 shows, pack up, travel to the next town, set up, go to sleep.
Wow.
My father taught us.
Yeah, so entertainment is definitely in your blood.
I guess so. Or at least being a clown is. Clowning around is.
Yes. Now I want to go back, Judi, to when you were Beth on Guiding Light, because you won an Emmy Award for that role. How did that feel? What was your reaction when they announced Judi Evans?
Complete shock. Totally not expecting that. I was very young and really just, was glad to be working. So I just really, that was not something that was in my mind at the time because I was so new to the business. So it was just shock and speechlessness. I was completely speechless, and
Mhm,
I think kind of embarrassing because I went up there. I think I said thanked four people and just kind of woohoo. I
mhm,
didn't know what to say. I didn't know that much about those kinds of things, so it
mhm.
was just a little weird for me.
Yeah.
Great, an honor, but I just was. It was almost like overload.
Mhm. And where is the statue in your house? On the mantle or in the living room window?
Right now it's kind of in the very top shelf in the living room,
Ah,
kind of in the back,
mm,
there, but not there.
yeah. Now, how did the soaps, I mean, come up? Because you're originally from the West Coast, and a lot of
Mhm.
your work was all done on the East Coast. The other shows, I mean, you left at a very young age. How did that all come about? I mean, leaving behind your family, everything, just going and following your dream, I guess, or what? So, how did all of that start for you?
Again, it was a whirlwind. I auditioned for Guiding Light out in California for the initial audition, and then they flew me to New York to test. And then 6 weeks later, I was moving to New York, and I just, again, kind of young and dumb, just like, okay,
Mhm.
well, whatever. I mean, I kind of been used to that, I guess, with the circus and all, and just
Do you
jump.
do you think, and by saying it this way, by being young and dumb, like you said, do you think that's what makes you so successful in this business? I mean, you seem like whatever comes along, you take the dare, you do it, and everything seems to work out for you.
I I've been very fortunate. Also, that first role, the character of Beth, the actress that I worked with, the writing of that character. I believe that that character has, not that I've played that character and over, but the impact of that character and how well it was written and just the whole story kind of set the stage for the rest of my career. I think it's everything is springboarded off that, and it was a phenomenal time.
I mean,
And like I said, I worked with phenomenal people.
and the characters you've played, Beth, Paulina, Maeve, Bonnie, Adrianne, who are you most like in real life?
Hmm, that's funny. I think kind of a cross between Paulina and Bonnie, probably.
Really?
Mhm.
Paulina was always so suave. I remember the character.
Well, it just, again, two characters. They don't really think a lot about the future. They just, go with the flow, and that sounds exciting. I think I'll do that. And that kind of hurt. Okay, well, I better brush myself off. Next, they don't really plan out their lives. They just kind of go by the seat of their pants. And
Mhm.
I'm not very. Uh, I'm a planner, but I'm not. I'm a planner about things being in a certain order in certain areas. I'm very compartmentalized, but as far as acting and career, it's just like, well, and it's not a very, it's not like, okay, you start off on this level and then you work yourself up like a normal job. It's just, you're either lucky to work or you're not lucky to work. So, oh, here's a job. Oh, awesome. And then I hope it lasts for a while.
Mhm. What is your biggest fear in the business?
Not working again. And not no, seriously. Every single time I walk on that set, I'm afraid it's my last day.
Mhm,
And because it happens like that. And um I've spent the last 30 years hearing there's not a lot of work for a woman your age. So, I figured that time's eventually gonna come. I hope not, but that's
How
my
do
biggest
you
fear, just
how
not
do you
working again.
yeah, how do you personally feel about that? Because I have spoken to actresses that are older and some from Days of Our Lives, and they would always say, to me and to the viewer, that's the character that makes the show.
Mm.
And that is who the fans love. They all love the fan favorite. I mean, and no matter how old, I mean, we can use Bill and Susan, Hayes, Doug and Julie from your show. I mean, veterans, people love to see them. You, Deidre Hall, anybody that has been there, it seems like the fans relate with those characters. So why is it so in Hollywood, everything's got to always be young?
It's a youth-oriented business, and especially for women. And you look at a lot of the relationships in films or nighttime, the guys are usually a little older, the girls are young and, perfect. And so for women, I think it's better now, but still it's a far cry from, you know, there are not a lot of roles for seasoned women.
Mhm, yeah. Now, we talked earlier about, some of the changes from back then to today. How do you feel they changed in terms of storyline? Do you think there was more love and family orientated back then as to today, or what is your take on that?
There were a lot more relationships, like there were friendships, siblings, there were a lot more scenes were a lot longer. They were uh, I think in this culture that we're in, of everything really quick, 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 the subs have to reflect that too. So scenes are shorter. You don't interact with a lot of different people. There's no time. There's no time to write it. There's no time to produce it. So there was a lot more variety. There were a lot more parties. There were a lot more location shoots, but you also interacted with a lot more people. Now it's just there's no budget, I think. I
Mm.
could be totally wrong, but I think from what I gather, there's just not the budget for, having or the time. And, maybe people don't want to watch that. You got to catch them in the first few minutes of any show.
Mhm.
And you got to keep exciting them, exciting them. And sometimes, when you build a story, even though that's a great way to do it in this day and age, it's hard to take that risk, I
Yeah.
think.
Do you think with all what's out there today, social media and a million channels all over the place, do you think that kind of affected daytime
Oh,
television a lot?
100%, 100%. Um, Reality TV, it has changed it a lot. People always go back to things really changed during the OJ thing, because people wanted that constant, ooh, and it's reality. And
A
so
drama.
there's that. And you have so many choices, you know, y- again, you gotta be so quick and so exciting all the time. And, a show that's on 5 days a week, you gotta give it to the writers, the producers, and the directors, because they have to make it interesting. Not that it wasn't interesting every day, but it has to just have so much life now, to be able to, oh, I don't know. I can't imagine having to write that every single day, but they do. And
Mm.
they do a great job doing it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, would you attribute the writing, the acting, all of the above, the success today of our lives? Because I mean, even if
Definitely.
you don't watch that show, all you have to do is say Days of Our Lives. Oh my God, it's been around forever. Everybody knows the history of that show. And I
Right.
mean, that is just remarkable. So it's sort of like the whole village comes together to get that show out.
Right. Well, Al Rabin, who used to executive produce Days of Our Lives, he
I
always
remember
used to
him,
say
wonderful fella.
one of his famous lines, he had many, was, "It all begins with the written word."
Mm.
And it does. Everything starts with the writing, whether it's a commercial or daytime drama or a film. If the writing is there, well, it also makes everybody else's job super easy.
Sure, sure. Now, do the writers study the character? Meaning, like, do they ever do a little interview with you? Do they talk? Do they find
No,
out what makes you tick, or they don't?
no, I mean, it, there are not too many shows I've been on where you had much interaction with the writers, or at
Right.
least I don't. Maybe they don't think I have, maybe I don't have good opinions. I don't know. But they usually, from my experience, the writers don't have a lot of interaction with the actors.
Mhm.
But that could be just maybe they're not interested in talking to me. I don't know.
No, I don't think that's it, Judy. I think it's probably they just keep it. Maybe that's the way they write, and it's fresh. Not knowing you more on a personal level.
Well,
It's just they
and
kind of
I've
go.
heard I've heard some writers don't want to know you on a personal level because they want to just know that character. And I get
Right.
that too. They want to be immersed in that character too. And if they knew too much about you, it might bleed
Mhm,
in.
mhm. Now, has there ever been a time in all your years doing this, anyone ever come up to you and says, Judi, any take on Bonnie? What would you like to see? Do they ever ask an opinion or no?
No,
No.
nope,
Just go and do it. So
no.
every time you pick up the script, it is just a total
But
surprise.
it is, and it's always a page turner for me. But and I don't know if I'd have an opinion. I I I don't know if I'd have an opinion. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
What
And
would
do
you like to see Bonnie do? I don't know. Whatever you want me to do. Maybe I'm
you,
too eager to please. I don't
yeah.
know.
And do you kind of like it that way? Maybe that's fun for an actor, the not knowing part.
It's exciting, and I I don't you I've only asked once what was going to happen because I love to find out. I only asked once, and I was fired. So
Oh,
I was going to be the one
that
written
was the
off, and
last
so
time you'll ask, right?
it was that cold chill down my spine, the feeling of wanting to vomit right away. I said, yeah, I'd rather not know ahead of time because it was just, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and I'll just take it that I don't ask. It taught me a really good lesson. Don't ask.
Mhm, mhm. And aside from all the madness of the soap opera world, what is going on in Judi Evans' life? I know you had a little bout with COVID. Can you tell
Mhm.
the fans about that? Because I've been flooded. Ask Judi, is she
Really?
okay? She looks fabulous, but how is she? So tell us.
I'm good. It's been a long recovery. Because I'd had a horseback riding accident and I broke a lot of bones um and compressed my lung, and then while I was in the hospital got COVID pretty bad, as far as had a horrible clotting situation. They at one point said we may have to remove your legs, and I was like, what? I just came in here because I broke my bones. What the heck? But it's been a long recovery because I had a lot of time literally on my back. So getting walking again, moving again, and then trying to rebuild my left side again because everything had been atrophied. Everything in my body had been atrophied, but especially my left side. My left side was much lower. So it's been taking a lot of physical work to get better and a lot of training. And just to walk again, let alone get in shape again, because I also gained a lot of weight because I was laying down, watching TV, eating, and taking the pain medication they gave me. So I wasn't doing a whole lot for a
Mhm.
while in
Yes.
there.
And has that detoured you anyway from getting back on a horse?
No,
No.
I've been, and I have friends that are like, "Well, you're going to get rid of your horses, right?" Like, why would I do that? Well, you're not going to ride again. Why wouldn't I? So I have been up. I haven't been up the way I want to be up. I've been up in the arena. Also, I have two young horses that haven't been ridden a lot in the last year. So I've got to retrain them and get because I don't want to repeat. But I haven't been on the trails, and I miss that. And I have some trepidation, and so I want to really be confident before I get back on that horse's back, because if you're not confident, they know it, and especially these two, they'll be like, "You're toast."
Mhm. And how did the horseback riding come about? Is it just a therapeutic thing for you or what?
I I think my first word was horse. I've loved horses all my life, and and I've had horses a lot in my life. I just I love animals, but I really love horses. I love being around them. I love riding them. I've just it's you know maybe I knew it was a thing that would almost kill me. I don't know, but I do love it a lot.
Mm,
And there's something wild and free and being one with nature when you're out there. And I love going fast. That's the
really?
problem. Oh yeah,
I'm
I
just the
love
opposite.
that.
I'd be real slow.
Oh no, and when I watch movies like oh gosh, where they're just flat out riding like crazy, and I that's how I like to ride, and jumping over branches and trees
Oh,
hitting
God.
you. And
See, I would be fine just walking the horse on the trail.
no.
He's the opposite. But I
No.
love your zest for life, and I think that is what makes you very successful. I can see you love doing the mad dashes, going out, and it just seems like everything you do, you have fun with. Am I right?
I try to. I
Yeah,
try
I mean,
to. I
that's just,
try to.
and it comes across that way on the screen. Now, what does the future hold for Judi Evans? I know 2 more years on Days of Our Lives, but you thinking anything? Would you ever like to do films,
Mhm,
stage, all
mhm,
of the above yet? Everything.
mhm.
See?
Yeah. I hope to, I hope to continue acting in whatever medium and realm. That would be awesome. But I also know that, you can't, you could do your best to send your life in a direction, but your life's going to go in the direction it's going to go. So I try not to worry too much about the future. I'm glad, like I said, I get to the set, I worry, "Oh, this might be my last day, but let's have fun, and we'll just figure out the next step later." But I'd love to continue acting and growing and learning, and just trying different things as far as being an artist. I really like that a lot.
Mhm. And what would you want the fans to know about Judi Evans that I would not think about asking you?
Oh, that's a hard question. What did my husband say the other day? I forgot what he said. I don't. Oh, I cannot not laugh at any kind of bathroom humor. I'm like an 8-year-old boy. If
Really?
it has a fart or a poop or somebody peeing, even if I've seen it 1,000 times, I will still burst out laughing. And my husband now will watch movies over and over again, and he'll, when he knows it's coming, he looks over like, "Are you gonna laugh?" And I'm like, can't help it. It just makes me laugh.
And what is the one role that you would want to play that you still have not?
Oh gosh, any and all.
Any, any, you're open to ideas. Huh?
Yep.
Yeah, you
Yep.
seem to play a lot, and it is funny how the writers go in that direction because your characters are so vivacious. They really are, and I think this is what they see in you. So, I mean, would you ever like to play a real serious role, matronly mother, or do you enjoy putting on the wigs and the glam and doing all of that stuff?
Oh no, I love anything, but I do get excited. Like, I really would love to play a spy, maybe a murderer.
Mhm,
I don't know.
mhm.
I could be more introspective. It's just there's no time on daytime to be introspective, so
Oh yeah,
just kind
yeah.
of,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Now, by doing daytime, does that, because I mean, you've done so many years, but do you ever feel like it has hindered a career where you could have more opportunities if you didn't do daytime?
no, I don't think so.
Because
I
daytime is
like,
so diverse that you get to play all these fun characters.
mhm.
That's what's
and
interesting about daytime.
and as far as being an actor, to know pretty much that you have a job regularly is
Sure.
a really good thing. I'm a worker bee, so I like that. I don't know if it's hindered. It's been a wonderful life, so
Hmm.
I'm kind of happy
Wow.
the way it is, and just take it as it comes.
Yeah. And besides the horseback riding, any hobbies, anything Judi Evans engages in?
I started boxing a little bit, and
Boxing.
I
Oh,
really like that. Of course, I really like
I
that.
can see you doing it.
I'd like to take up surfing. I've always wanted to do that, and skydiving, but I haven't. I didn't. I know my husband doesn't want me to skydive, so I'm gonna have to do it secretly.
Oh, mhm. Is he sort of the opposite, your husband? You more daring than him?
Yeah,
Oh,
very much.
the
Um,
opposites
he's he's
attract.
he's a little bit of an adrenaline junkie too, because he loves riding too, and he loves cowboying up. But there are certain things. It's like, I'll jump off a cliff. Okay, I'll fly on a trapeze. That I love that kind of stuff. Fly in a helicopter or jump out of a plane. I'm that kind of person. He's a little more, well, let's see if somebody else dies first.
Oh,
Where I'm like, I'll be the first to try it.
yeah,
So
so you
it's
just
good. I
yeah,
push him and he pulls me back. So it's a good balance.
yeah, and taking dares is what life is all about. If you don't take a dare, you never do nothing. If you don't push forward, you'll always be in the same spot.
Yeah, I'm not good in the same spot. I'm
No.
not a tree. I'm more like a tumbleweed.
Yes. Well, Judi, it was a pleasure having you on the program.
Oh,
Always nice
thank
to see you.
you.
You're always welcome to come back, and much continued success with Days of Our Lives. And let's just see what Adrianne and Bonnie is going to be up to next. God only knows. As
God
they
only
say,
knows.
it's in the hands of the writers.
It is the writer gods. No, thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to the next time we meet.
Yes.